a black and white truth that your pastor will not tell you. Satan's seed. Who are these people? For millennia, they have walked the earth among us, unidentified, seamlessly penetrating our societies. Who are the offspring of Satan, and why doesn't anyone expose them? Well, I am here to expose these vipers to the world.
Hi, I'm HOIO from the House of Israel, Ohio, expert trainer of principle-based deliverance, and I want to expose for you
the offspring of Satan.
Fire! With any tale, the best place to start is in the beginning. So we're going to start in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. I will put an enmity between you and the woman, between her offspring and your offspring. You know that the offspring of a woman are humans, more specifically the Messiah, but who is the offspring of Satan? When did he have kids and where are they? In Hebrew, the best way to define a thing is by its character. And I want to give you some scriptures that show you the characteristics of these individuals and how we can discern them from among us, because they are among us. If a person pervert righteousness and prevent people from coming into the truth, this is the characteristic of
the offspring of Satan.
So if you pervert righteousness and if you are preventing people from coming into the truth, this is a characteristic of
the offspring of Satan.
Acts 13 shows us an individual just like that.
Paul and Barnabas was out doing their missionary work, and they ran across a Hebrew sorcerer, a false prophet named Bar-Jesus. Now, Bar-Jesus' thing was when someone would want to come into the faith, he would try to prevent them from converting. So Paul had to lay into him and look at the choice words that he used.
O full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thou enemy of all righteousness, wilt thou not cease to pervert the right ways of the Lord?
This is an obvious example of someone trying to deter you from righteousness and truth. But what about the examples of individuals who are not so obvious? In Deuteronomy 6:24-25, it says that the Torah or law is righteousness. And Psalm says that the law is truth. If your local leader isn't directing you towards the statutes, commandments, and judgments of Elohim, then he's perverting your way. He's deterring you from righteousness and truth, which makes that person
the offspring of Satan.
On the flip side, Yeshua said that he's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes into the Father except by accepting his character. In Isaiah 28:16, it says that he, Yeshua, is a cornerstone, a precious stone, a foundation, a strong rock, one of those foundations that if you put your faith in him, you will not be ashamed. If someone tries to take you through any other person, medium, or any other way, any other factor besides Yeshua HaMashiach to accessing the Father, this is another example that that individual, and if you are doing it, is
the offspring of Satan.
Let's make it personal now. If you're not discerning his spirit speaking to you, then you're the offspring of Satan.
Jesus said unto them, If God were your Father, ye would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from God, neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech? Even because ye cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do.
When I speak of hearing his voice, I want to be very clear of what I'm referring to. See, Cain, he was able to hear the Most High. Matter of fact, it says in the scripture that he asked him a question and Cain replied. So when we're talking about hearing, we're not just talking about being able to hear this voice. We're saying Shema, you will listen and obey. See, Cain, he heard and Father was speaking to him and Father even warned him, but he would not obey. And so when I say hear his voice, that means you hear, you can discern him speaking to you, and you obey.
I find it very interesting that Yeshua points out that the opposite of not hearing is not deafness. He didn't say, you can't hear my word, so you must be deaf. No, he said, if you can't hear my word, then you are diametrically opposed against me. You are
the offspring of Satan.
You are doing the lust of your father. The opposite of not hearing the Most High is not deafness. The opposite of not hearing the Most High is hearing, listening, and obeying your father, Satan.
And do not believe the lie that you have to be some leader, some pastor, some prophet, or anything like that in order to hear his spirit. He wants to communicate with all of us. It's open for everyone to hear his voice. And I'm here to give you the good news that you no longer have to lean on a man or some pastor or leader or elder, YouTube or any other medium to hear or communicate directly with him. It's funny that we say that we're looking for something that's real and we don't want to be fake, but yet the one thing that we go to is things that are fake, counterfeits for the set apart spirit. We're talking about counterfeit religions, Kabbalah, getting high. We're talking about lust of the flesh, all these things that brings us dopamine highs and a release, but yet even in ourselves we know it's not going to be enough. Even in ourselves we know that we need more. Even in ourselves we know that it's still not going to be adequate. But going through the process of submission, you know, that carnal mind, our mind, we basically gonna talk ourselves out of it. Matter of fact, 2 Timothy says it like this: we oppose ourselves. We come against ourselves. We stop ourselves from coming to the real thing.
Another characteristic of the offspring of Satan is in 1 John 3, he says, if you are of righteousness, then you do what is righteous. But if you commit sin, more so commit transgression against the Torah, he said you're of the devil, because the devil sinned from the beginning. So if you commit transgression, you know it's wrong, but you do it anyways, you are
the offspring of Satan.
Yeshua says, guess what? I'm going to let you know right now, you're going to have the tares and the wheat. They're going to grow together all the way to the end. The tares represent the offspring of Satan. The tares represent the evil ones. And so these individuals are going to be with you all the way into the end. But this is a huge but. We better make sure we're able to discern them, or else we'll find ourselves intermingled in with them and gathered with them, and we'll suffer the same fate as them.